Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So before we start, I just want to apologize that I've been kind of MIA lately. First it was Christmas, and then right after Christmas, like 2 days after, I got like this horrible cold, and I couldn't even move. It was awful. I still have it if I sound kind of congested, or if I just start sneezing. But I'm feeling a lot better today, so I figured it would be a good day to, get back to it. So, I just want to touch on a few things before we start the video on the table or the next part of the table. So there's a few things that I did that I either forgot to take video of or I tried to and my camera died. It happens. But so I just figured I would touch on those subjects before we get into the video. So one thing that I think I might have gotten a little bit of video of it, but it might not be the best. One thing I did in the past couple of weeks was I decided that I wanted to stain the wood on the top before I did like a clear coat or something. So I got like a Minwax stain and I just stained the wood. So here's the thing about that. I decided to just do a resin pour over the top for a finish, and I forgot that Minwax is oil-based, and the resin doesn't really like oil-based substances. So it was kind of a test to see if it actually worked or not. So what I did was I sanded it so the resin would have something to grab to, and then I did the pour. So I think I got a little bit of the footage of the pour, but it kind of got messed up because I thought I had enough resin and I didn't have enough resin, so I had to go to the store in the middle of it and get more resin. So it actually isn't perfect, so that's going to be a big part of this video today. Is I'm going to have to, it seemed to stick well enough. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take the high parts down with a chisel and then sand it again and then polish it. So before we get to that, there's a couple things I want to show you. I went to Home Depot and I grabbed this, just like this little polishing wheel kit, but it's for your impact gun or your drill, just in case you don't have like a wheel that it turns on. And I figured that would be a lot easier to polish the resin up. I figured that'd be a lot easier to polish up the resin. So it comes with 3 polishing wheels, and it also comes with 3, what are they? I think they're just like 3 little fillers if you're polishing wood. I think that's what it is. I haven't really opened it yet, but that's kind of cool. So I got that so I could get the resin to have a nice shiny finish once I get it sanded down enough. So that's kind of cool. And another thing I grabbed was just another thing of the turtle wax rubbing compound, because I was running out of the stuff we had, so I grabbed this so, I wouldn't run out. You can use rubbing compound for a lot of things, so I picked that up as well. Another thing I got, which I got one of these for Christmas, and I went back to get another one because they'd be perfect for work. Let me just grab it. So the other thing I grabbed at Home Depot was this little DeWalt quick grip, but they're really small. I'm not sure if I'll really use it for this project at all, but they'll be perfect for work, at least what I do for work. So I ended up getting, this is the second one I got, so now I have a matching set, so it's good for like getting in small places. I mean, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory what these are for, but it's kind of a cool size, so I thought I would share it with you guys. I like them, so So yeah, that's what I've done to the table since. I gave the base a quick like once over with black spray paint, but I honestly think I didn't know it was gonna rain. I left it outside and it rained, so I'm probably just gonna have to sand it down and paint it again. But at least it had that little bit of protection. It's my fault. I mean, there's no one else to blame other than myself for that, but it's okay. But that's pretty much what we have done so far. And keep watching and we'll get on with the video. Thanks guys, bye. Alright guys, so sorry about my congestion. Like I said, I still have a cold, so a little congested. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just screwing the top down to a table so I can work without the piece moving. So what I did was I took one of my wood chisels. Nice sharp chisel, because you don't want to use anything that's dull, because it'll probably end up just causing more damage, because you're going to have to push harder and then you'll gouge into the wood, and it's just a lot easier just to use a really nice sharp chisel for this step. So I'm just going around and I'm just taking the chisel and using it to take off all the little bits of resin that drip down after I poured a finished top coat on. Well, not necessarily a finished top coat, but the top coat of resin. And just try to be careful not to, chip the wood or gouge into the wood. I mean, it's the bottom, so it's not necessarily going to matter that much, but you don't want to cause damage. Alright, so now I'm just hitting the wood all the way around the edges with, I believe I used 80 here, just to take off the high spots around the edges. This is just a really light sanding. It wasn't anything crazy. Like I said, it's just take the high spots down. Then I just took the sander with that same 80 grit and I just went all over the bottom of the tabletop to give it another sanding. Next, I'm going to be sanding the bottom with like all the higher grit sandpapers, so I wasn't really concerned about hitting the already polished resin with the 80 grit. Just because I knew I was going to be going over it again, so I knew it wasn't a big deal. So then what I did was I got out our new polishing wheels and I put them together and stuck it on my drill. And then grabbed the rubbing compound and started polishing. So this is really what takes the longest. You'll notice when I do the top that there'll still be some like sandpaper marks and stuff and scuffs on the top and some of the parts, like those bubbles in the resin. I actually ended up just going with that because I kind of just like the rustic look of it. Like it has like that like modern kind of with the resin, like making it look like a river. But at the same time, I still wanted the tabletop to have character, so I just left some of those scuff marks and dings and gouges just because I thought they were cool. And if you wanted it to be completely transparent, what you would have to do is you just have to keep sanding and sanding and sanding up to about 2000 grit and then start polishing. And for this step, I suppose you could probably, at least for the front, obviously not for the back because it doesn't have that coat of resin across the whole top like the front of it does, but I suppose for the top you could probably use like a carb buffer maybe. This is just what I had. I picked it up because I thought like I didn't really want to be pulling out the huge like buffer for the car if I could just have something small like this. So as you can see now on the top, I'm just taking my chisel and taking down the really high spots just so I'm not going crazy sanding. You want to be really careful with this because you can gouge into the resin that you want to stay very easily. So you just with a light hand, you want to just take down the high spots just so you don't have to, it saves time sanding. And we're just going to go all the way across the top with, this is 40 grit just to take down the high spots. And like I said, on the front, there's a coating of resin across the whole top, so I'm not too worried. Like, I have leeway. And I'm just doing the same thing with the chisel on this side. I honestly have no idea why I have gloves on. I must have been doing something and I just didn't take the gloves off. So then after this, you're going to want to take another sanding disc at 80 grit and sand the whole thing down. And then the same thing again at 220. Then I had, what did I have? I had 320. Then I went up to, I believe, 1,000, then 1,500, and then 2,000, and then 2,500. And like I said, if you wanted it to be crystal clear, all you'd have to do is spend a lot more time sanding, and you'd probably get a very better, clear outcome. But that's not what I was going for, so I didn't do it that way. And I noticed that even though I had put the Minwax on there, and I was kind of worried about the resin sticking, it actually stuck pretty well. I think it's because I didn't necessarily completely soak the thing in the stain. And then after I put the stain on there, I sanded some spots down so they were lighter. So I think that helped out with that factor. So I polished the entire thing down with our polishing wheel like we did in the back. Then I sprayed the whole polished top with, what did I use? I used furniture polish. And I'm just giving that a light buff all the way across with the furniture polish just to give it a real nice shine. And that's all I really did to finish the top. I haven't decided if I'm gonna paint the edges black or leave it like that. I kind of like it because it gives it like a rustic feel because the resin dripped down and some spots didn't really get it. But I kind of like the way it looks. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet though. If you guys would like to chime in on that, leave a comment in the comment section. That would be great because I'm trying to decide. I don't know what I want to do. So just keep buffing that out until it gets nice and shiny. And then take a rag and wipe off the excess furniture polish. You could use polishing wax for this. You could really use anything. I just grab furniture polish. Now, right now, I just brought the table stand outside and I'm just giving another coat of black paint. This is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just painting the bottom just black. It's matte black right now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put like a glossy top coat on it. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I suppose that's something we are going to figure out in one of the later videos. Today was a really nice day for painting too. It was pretty warm. The wind wasn't crazy. It's a little windier out now, but it worked out really well. And that small piece of wood that we added, is looking great. You can't even tell when it's painted, so that's awesome. And that's just about it, guys. So now we have the tabletop almost finished. So once this is painted fully, we'll be able to attach it. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna put a glossy top coat on this or not, or do something else. So that's something we're gonna have to figure out. But we're doing really well on this, and it looks really great. So thanks, guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks. Bye.